unfortunately overshadowing the great play on the court we're seeing in this year's playoffs. As the league said earlier today, the audio recording posted by TMZ is truly offensive and disturbing. And we intend to get to the bottom of it as quickly as possible. I personally think the situation is most unfair to the Clippers players and coaches who have to deal with this distraction in the middle of their own highly competitive playoff series. And in fact, I spoke to both Doc Rivers and Chris Paul earlier today to share those sentiments with them. Mayor Kevin Johnson, who has been assisting the Players Association in their search for a new executive director, was also in touch with me today, and he has been asked by the players to become involved in this situation. And he expressed to me the players' grave concerns over this matter, and we've agreed to remain in close contact. Let me just add that all members of the NBA family should be afforded due process and a fair opportunity to present their side of any controversy, which is why I'm not yet prepared to discuss any potential sanctions against Donald Sterling. We will, however, move extraordinarily quickly in our investigation. In the meantime, Mr. Sterling has agreed that he will not attend his playoff game tomorrow in Golden State. And now I'm happy to take any questions.
Before the question, please identify yourself with your name and affiliation. We'll start with Brian. Yes, please wait.
Brian Windhurst, ESPN. Adam, what sort of provisions are there in place that exist for you and the other owners to discipline an owner in a situation like this?
There are broad powers in place under the NBA's constitution and bylaws that include a range of sanctions, and all of those will be considered depending on the findings of our investigation.
Peter?
Adam, Peter Fleischer, Fox 13 here in Memphis. Does Donald Sterling's past history with racial controversy play into your decision or thought process at all?
It hasn't so far. We're very focused on the audio tape that was posted by TMZ right now and the facts around it.
Jay Adonde, ESPN. Adam, following up on that, with regards to the previous instance, why was no action, punitive action, taken in any of those cases?
You know, Jay, I can't speak to the past as to why decisions were made. You know, and I'm not sure exactly what incident you're referring to. You know, well, you know, there was a settlement, and as I understand it, with no finding of discrimination. But I haven't looked back yet at any past proceedings involving Mr. Sterling.
Gary?
Gary Parrish, CBSSports.com. Your sport's biggest star, LeBron James, said earlier today that there's no place in the NBA for Donald Sterling. Do you share that opinion?
What I've said is that Donald Sterling should be afforded due process just as any player in this league or any executive in this league would be. So it would be, you know, unwise of me and improper, frankly, to express a view as to what the ultimate outcome of any investigation would take us to.
Adam, Doc Holliday, ABC 24 here in Memphis. If the Clippers players were to protest tomorrow's game or decide not to play, what would be the NBA stance on something like that?
Fortunately, we're not dealing with that situation. As I said, I've talked to Mayor Kevin Johnson, who's become involved in this situation, spoke directly to Chris Paul, spoke to Doc Rivers. Their focus is on competing in their current playoff series. And I appreciate that and the fact that Kevin Johnson has made himself available to the players to help them work through this situation.
Adam, Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. Reaction among some players and their families and fans has been swift and in some cases angry. What do you feel the tone of just race relations in this league are? Are things below the surface?
I'm extraordinarily proud of the relations we have in this league with each other, among various ethnic groups, various nationalities. We have an extraordinary number of international players who play in this league, and I think our track record is stellar. And while I understand anger that would be naturally expressed over hearing a tape like this, I also believe that ultimately the players and the rest of the NBA family has confidence that we'll deal with it appropriately.
We have time for 2 to 3 more. Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Calkins from the Commercial Appeal here in Memphis. Is the